Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bangkok, Thailand. My name is Sajatam TK Kolsambun, and I will be the host for you in this event. We are at the draw ceremony of the FIBA U19 Women's World Basketball Cup that will be held this summer in Thailand, right here in Bangkok. First of all, we're very privileged to be here at a historic site at the Sports Authority of Thailand Hall in Bangkok, Thailand. Of course, it's a pleasure to welcome all of our guests here today, as well as the respective representatives from each of the participating countries here, as well as the ambassadors who have joined this event. In particularly, I would like to welcome Mr. Tuisak. Mr. Tuisak. Sorry. In particular, I'd like to welcome Mr. Tuisak. Mr. Tuisak Lerprapan, the Deputy Governor of Bangkok, as well as Lieutenant Colonel Rut Sang Udom, the Deputy Governor of the Sports Authority of Thailand, and also Mr. Nipon Shaolin Montian, the President of the Basketball Sports Authority of Thailand. This event here will be featuring a new trophy, as you see here on the stage, in all of its glory. The trophy is sculpted and designed as a rising star out of a basketball, and this symbolizes the emergence of the new world-class young players from raw talents. As you see here in the next presentation, it will show you the design and the concept behind the Rising Stars U19 trophy. The U19 World Women's Basketball Cup brings forth the stars of tomorrow here for us to watch today. The 2017 edition was held in the city of Udine and Cividale del Friuli in Italy, where we saw Russia overcome the United States of America in the gold medal game. Of course, this year, the tournament will be held in Bangkok at Bangkok Youth Center Arenas from 20th to 28th July as the teams battle it out for this trophy. Of course, here's a glimpse of what we might be expecting in this competition. That there was some of the great action from the 2017 edition of the tournament, as well as some from the U18 Continental Championships, in which each of the teams had to qualify to get here to Bangkok this summer. As you see here on the screens here, I'll recap the teams that will be participating. First of all, the hosts, Thailand, as we have in attendance. From Africa, we have Mali and Mozambique. From the Americas, we have the United States of America, Canada, Argentina, and Colombia. From Asia and Oceania, we have China, Japan, Australia, and Korea. And finally, from Europe, we have Germany, Spain, Hungary, Latvia, and Belgium. And those are the teams that will be participating here this summer for the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. First of all now, I'd like to invite our first guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Tuwisak Lerprapan, the Deputy Governor of Bangkok.
Lieutenant Colonel รุตแสงอารมณ์แสงอุดม Deputy Governor of Sport Authority of Thailand Mr. นิพนธ์ชวลิตมนเทียน President of Basketball Sport Association of Thailand Ambassadors to Kingdom of Thailand Competition sponsors Basketball players Staff Mass media Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, a co-host of the FIBA U19 Women Basketball World Cup competition, I have an honor to attend the press conference and group drawing ceremony today. Bangkok, a capital of Thailand, is potential center of economic affairs, transportation, education, and tourism, especially education, that we have profoundly sport children and youth to have both academic skill through proper education and sport education in terms of theory and practice. We also provide practice venues so that they are ready to play all kinds of sport competition on some occasion. Bangkok has supported the venue for national and international tournaments. On this occasion of the FIBA U19 Women Basketball World Cup competition, Bangkok is ready to please to provide the potential facilities such as Gilawet 1 and 2 sport buildings, Thai-Japan Bangkok Youth Center, etc. Not only availability in sport venues, the picturesque tourist attraction also exists in Bangkok. In 2016 to 2017, Bangkok is considered as home of street food, which CNN rated as the best place of the world, especially in area of Chinatown and Khao San Road. In 2014 to 2017, MasterCard Global has appointed Bangkok to be the best destination for 3 consecutive years. In 2015 to 2019, Bloomberg also has selected Bangkok as one of the 10 cities in the world which implement the road safety initiative. In addition, Bangkok is ready to support everyone visit for unforgettable memory. Last but not least, I would like to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Commission and concerned parties that entrust Bangkok to be a supporter of venues for this competition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tuwisak Lerprapan. And of course, it's a great opportunity, as he mentioned, that Bangkok is able to be the host of this event and be at the center where the world will be watching at this FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. Now, for our second guest speaker, I'd like to introduce to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Rut Sang Udom, the Deputy Governor of the Sports Authority of Thailand.
Deputy Governor of Bangkok, the President of Basketball Sport Association of Thailand, the FIBA representative, the ambassadors, distinguished guests, the honorable and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Royal Thai Government, the Ministry of Tourism and Sports, we are very proud and very honored to support the FIBA U19 Women Basketball World Cup 2019 to take place in our country, Thailand. On behalf of the Sport Authority of Thailand and the Sport Fund, we are very proud and also to be the center of the supporters to support this event to be success in the coming event. As the basketball is the very famous in Asia, this competition will be promoted and will be support our youth and our people to participate in this event. On behalf of the supporters and the audience of Thailand, I think we are very proud, also very have a good chance to be the part of the world event as the U19 Women Basketball World Cup. In other part, for the sport tourism is our strategy. We are welcome all the supporters from every team that participate in this event, and also we will support if have to have the television live around the world. Finally, I wish that this event, a very prestigious event, will be very success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Colonel Rut Sangudom. And of course, it's a great opportunity hosting this event for the sports scene in Thailand to continue to grow. As mentioned, the opportunity for fans from all around the world to come and be a part of this event. Now, of course, we've all heard about Thailand. We've all heard about the sightseeing, the attractions, the food. As we mentioned, the street food here is awesome. But let's stop talking about it and just take a glimpse of it here in the short presentation of Bangkok. course, we're all looking forward to be able to welcome and celebrate all of the participants and everyone from around the world here in Bangkok to see the stars of tomorrow right here at this competition. Now, it's a pleasure for me to invite and introduce to the stage the representative from FIBA, Mr. Predrag Bogosavliev, the Sports and Competition Director.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and we hope you're having a good time here in Bangkok so far. The first question, though, what does it mean for FIBA to be able to have Thailand, and in particular, the city of Bangkok, as the hosting for this event?
Before answering your question, I would first like to take the opportunity to thank all the guests for coming today for FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup on behalf of FIBA President, Mr. Horacio Moratore, and FIBA Secretary General, Mr. Andrea Zaglis. It is our great pleasure to be here because, first of all, we still have fresh memories from 10 years ago when Bangkok, sorry. Yeah, no, you'll forget this. When Bangkok for the first time hosted the Under-19 Women's World Cup, the teams still remember great hospitality, and this is for all of them, for all the players, such a memorable experience. In addition, unfortunately, basketball is big in Asia, but is not as big as we would like it to be in Thailand. And we see Under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup as a great opportunity to further develop basketball in Thailand and to make it much stronger than it was so far.
Okay, thank you for your kind words, Ms. Bogosavliev. And of course, it's a pleasure for us as well to have you and the whole FIBA family here as a world-class event in Bangkok. Now, of course, it's almost time to start the draw, but before we get to that part, could you kindly guide us through what will be going through these proceedings, how will it go, what are the principles that will be going down throughout the entire operations? Let's just wait for him to settle a couple of technical difficulties a little bit.
Now the technical problems are solved. Yes, the goal of every draw we do for a FIBA competition is to have at the end the groups which are of a similar quality and to achieve equal distribution of the teams from the same continent across all the groups. In order to achieve this goal, first of all, we distributed the teams in the pots, which are created based on the quality and geographical principles. Behind me, you can see those pots. In the pot number 1, in addition to the host, Thailand, which has the spot in the pot number 1 according to the Central Board decision, we have 3 continental champions from the last year: USA, China, and Germany. Pot 2 is composed of 4 European teams. Pot 3, 2 Asian, Oceanian, Japan and Australia, because Asia and Oceania are playing together, and 2 teams from America. Finally, in the pot 4, we have 2 teams from Africa and the remaining teams from Asia and America. The teams, the pots are actually in front of me. So those are 4 pots, which you can see on the screen. And the draw will go in the way that we will draw the team from the pot 1 and distribute them to the groups A, B, C, and D. As soon as we allocate the team to the group, we will draw the competition number for respective team, because this number will determine the pairings and the order of the games during the competition. So number is also very important to have at the beginning of the competition. We will proceed with a straight draw for the first 2 pots, but for the pot 3 and pot 4, we will have some restrictions. Namely, when we come to the pot 3, 2 Asian teams cannot play with the Asian teams which are already drawn in the pot 1. So practically, we will draw them to the groups with the USA and Germany. And when it comes to the pot 4, at that moment, we already have 3 groups with American teams. So Colombia will be automatically assign the group without team from America. So those are the conditions, those are draw procedures, and we are ready to start.
All right now the stage is set, and we know how this draw will be going down. But before we get there, we'd also need some helping hands to help Mr. Bogoslavliev out. So I'd like to introduce to the stage, she is a former world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jenny Screen, the FIBA world champion from 2006 from Brazil, and also a silver medalist in the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing. Okay, so first of all, you played at the FIBA U19 World Championships back in 2001. Were there any impressions or remarkable moments from that event that you still have to today?
Yeah, I think there's three that I can highlight the most when I recall. First, you say 2001. That's almost 20 years ago, so right now I'm feeling a little bit old. But I remember mostly playing against Czech Republic in their home country in front of 7,000 people, which actually felt like 20 because they were so loud. And when you're 18, 17 years of age, that can be quite daunting. The second one is the friendships. Most of the girls that I played with then, I am still friends today with. And most importantly, the third thing is the uniform. It was the first time that I got to wear the green and gold and represent my country on the world stage. So that, for that moment, it's very special.
We would like to understand how special that would feel, but of course that was probably your first time playing outside of the Oceania region. How did it feel to be playing up against teams that were groomed in different basketball cultures and played in different basketball styles?
It's amazing that a court that's 30 by 15 and the same size ball could be played so differently across different continents. You have the Asian countries who are very fast and can shoot the three ball. You have the Europeans that aren't girls, they're actually built like women and they're strong and they're physical. And then you have us down the bottom of the world, Australia, and we're just like this mesh of something special. But it was really interesting and an eye-opener to play all those countries and be exposed to that and the possibilities that could mean.
Okay, so back then it was the U19s, you were still a teenager, but playing in that event, how did it help you and your career playing with the Opals, the Australian women's senior national team, where you've obviously had plenty of success with?
I think such an event like the Under-19 World Championships for basketball, it makes you realize as a young girl that it's possible, that a dream can become a reality, of that you can have a sniff of what it's like to play sport and basketball, the great game played around the world, and make a career out of it. And that's what the Under-19s did for me. So I went home, it was a stepping stone, and through hard work and a bit of fortune, I then got to represent my country over 100 times at 2 Olympics and a world champ. So I am blessed and humbled that such an event showed me the world and gave me a career.
Okay, thank you very much. And we also hope that the youth that will be playing here in this tournament will be inspired and go on to have the same success as you as well. So I'd like to guide you to the drawing that side. Okay, fortunately for Ms. Green, she will not be alone on this stage to help Mr. Bogoslavliev. We also have another special guest, so I'd like to introduce you to the stage. She is an actress and also a Miss Teen Thailand from 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Hannah Lewis to the stage. We'll be doing the questioning in Thai first, and then we'll be summarizing a bit later. Okay, สำหรับฮานะก็คือในฐานะที่เป็นคนไทยคนหนึ่งหรือเป็นคนที่อาศัยอยู่ในกรุงเทพเนี่ยการที่ประเทศไทยแล้วก็เมืองกรุงเทพได้เป็นเจ้าภาพของงานระดับโลกขนาดนี้นี่มีความรู้สึกยังไงมีความภูมิใจยังไงบ้างครับ
ค่ะก็ยินดีต้อนรับนักแข่งทุกท่านนะคะแล้วก็รู้สึกเป็นเกียรติแล้วก็ดีใจมากค่ะที่ไทยเราเนี่ยได้เป็นเจ้าภาพอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะก็อยากให้ทุกคนเนี่ยมาช่วยกันเชียร์แล้วก็ช่วยเป็นกำลังใจให้นักแข่งทุกท่านค่ะ
Okay, so just in a short summary, she's proud as a Thai citizen that this country, this city in particular, is able to be a host of such a wonderful event, and she hopes that everyone will come to cheer, not only for the Thai team, but for all participating nations to come and cheer for their team and be a part of this event. So I'll just guide you to the to the drawing section, and Mr. Bogoslavliev, the stage is ready. Everyone knows how the proceedings will go down. Your assistants are in place. Please commence the draw.
Thank you very much. So we'll start the draw, as explained, with the pot number 1. So first team from the pot number 1 will go to the group A. Thailand goes to the group A with the competition number. Competition number 4. Next team goes to the group B. No? China, go group B with a number. With number 3. Next team from the pot 1, going to the group C. USA in the group C with the number. Number 1. And the last team from the pot 1 goes to the group D. Germany, group D, number. Number 3. We are moving to the pot 2. Again, first team from the pot 2 goes to the group A. This is Latvia. Latvia in the group A. With the number 2. Next team from the pot 2 going to the group B. Belgium, group B. With number 2. Next team to the group C. Hungary goes to the group C with the number. With the number 2. And the last team from the pot 2 goes to the group D. Spain in the group D with a number. With the number 4. So we are halfway through the draw.
All right, and as you see on the screen here, we already have some exciting matchups after the first 8 teams have been drawn, after a timeout has been called here by Mr. Bogosavliev. We'll be making a substitution in our assistants. First of all, thank you to Ms. Lewis for helping us with the draw. And as we mentioned, we have another assistant here waiting in line. She's an actress, a well-known actress in Thailand as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the stage, Ms. Ploy Randapa Mantalampa. ครับก็อยากจะถามอารมณ์คล้ายๆกับเมื่อกี้ครับในฐานะที่เป็นคนไทยคนหนึ่งในฐานะที่เราก็อยู่กรุงเทพมามีความรู้สึกยังไงกับที่บ้านเกิดเมืองนอนของเราเนี่ยได้เป็นที่ที่คนจากทั่วโลกกำลังจะได้มาจับจ้องมองในการแข่งขันระดับนี้ครับ
ค่ะก็ก่อนอื่นก็รู้สึกยินดีมากๆค่ะที่ประเทศไทยได้เป็นเจ้าภาพนะคะแล้วก็เชื่อมั่นค่ะว่าประเทศไทยจะเป็นเจ้าบ้านที่ดีต้อนรับนักกีฬาทุกท่านที่มาจากต่างชาติได้อย่างดีเยี่ยมค่ะก็เชื่อมั่นตรงนี้แล้วก็เป็นกำลังใจให้นักแข่งทุกๆคนด้วยค่ะ
So just a bit of a summary here. She's also proud that Thailand is going to be a host of here, and she's also very confident that the Thais will be able to provide warm hospitality for all the participants and all the fans as well that come to support for their teams. So please. And now, once again, as the sage has said, please, Mr. Bogosavliev, conclude the second half of the draw.
Thank you. So we are continuing with the pot 3, but you can see in the pot 3, we should have 4 balls in the one bowl, but we distribute them in 2 different bowls, and that is the reason. As I explained, Japan and Australia cannot be drawn in the group with already drawn teams from Asia. So they cannot go to the groups A and B. Japan and Australia are in this bowl here, and they will go to the groups C and D. So first team will go to the group C. Australia will play with USA in a group C with a number 4, and the next team will play in the group D. Japan will play in the group D with the number 2. Now we will proceed with the remaining 2 teams from the pot 3. The first one will go to the group A. Canada goes to the group A. With the number 3. And the last team from the pot 3, Argentina, goes to the pot B. With the number 4. Finally, we are coming to the pot 4. In the pot 4, we have the situation that we have Colombia, and we have 3 groups with America teams, which are groups A, B, and C. So Colombia has to go to the group D. Colombia in the group D with the number 1. Now we are continuing with the other teams. The first one will go to the group A. Mozambique in the group A with number 1. The next team goes to the group B. Mali in the group B with the number 1. And finally, the last team for today, Korea. Korea will go to the group C with the number 3. So this brings us to the end of the draw.
And there you have it. The groups are set. The draw has now been concluded. Once again, we'll recap all of the groups once again. Here, as you see on the screen, in Group A, we have Mozambique, Latvia, Canada, and of course, the host Thailand. In Group B, we have Mali, Belgium, China, and Argentina. In Group C, we have USA, Hungary, Korea, and Australia. And in Group D, we have Colombia, Japan, Germany, and Spain. That's the results of the draw. Thank you once again to Ms. Green and Ms. Ploy for helping us carry out this draw procedure. And of course, Mr. Bogosavliev for conducting the whole draw process. And of course, thank you everyone for being here, for coming to this event, being a part of the first step towards the FIBA U19 Women's Basketball World Cup. We hope to see you all again this summer when the game starts to commence. And of course, the games will start from the 20th to 28th July in Bangkok, Thailand at the Bangkok Youth Center Arenas. Thank you to everyone for tuning in also from all over the world through the FIBA social media channels. You can find all the information about this tournament on the website at fiba.basketball/world/U19. Again, all of the information from this tournament can be found at fiba.basketball/world/U19. Be sure to not miss out on the action of the Stars of Tomorrow this summer. Once again, my name is Sajatam TK Kolsambun. It's been my pleasure to be a host for you in this draw ceremony. Thank you and goodbye.